Hello, everyone, and welcome to Plate Stack Chat. As always, I'm Jason. However, the show is slightly different today, and not just because it's a Sunday, but today I have not two, but three guests joining me on the show. And you might notice a little theme that links all these guests. So let's bring them out now. First up, we have the youngest guest, a teen athlete that finished 19th worldwide in the Open for the 14 and 15-year-old division and 28th in the age group semi-finals. So she has got herself a ticket to the CrossFit Games hosted by the Pit Team Throwdown. It is Isla Hill.
Hello.
Isla. Hello and welcome, Isla. Don't worry, I won't leave you on there on your own for too long. We'll immediately bring in our next guest. So we also have another teen athlete who ranked first in the UK in the Open for the 14 to 15-year-old division in 2022, second in the 16 to 17-year-old division in 2023, and he was clearly disappointed with that second place finish. So in 2024, he finished first in the UK in the 16 to 17-year-old division in the Open. He too is planning a trip to Pitt for the CrossFit Games. Please welcome Pierce Gerring.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Are those facts all correct, Pierce?
I think so, yeah.
And was it that second place finish that just spurred you on this year to reclaim your title?
Yeah, I mean, anything gets me going, to be fair.
Anything gets you going. Okay. Well, let's bring out our last guest. Last but not least, we have a returning guest to the show. The last time she was joined by John Young and did team up with him on pointing out how weak I am. And yet I've welcomed her back. She has been having a pretty good season so far with a 12th place at semi-finals in the 16 to 17-year-old division. So yes, she too is heading to the CrossFit Games. Please welcome back Hannah Wendt.
Hi. Thanks
Hello,
for having
Hannah.
me again.
You're welcome. I'm just gonna mute Pierce's mic for a second, just because there's a lot of background noise. Pierce, you're just gonna have to unmute yourself when you want to talk, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna lose our minds. But it's very kind of you to join us, despite the fact that you're clearly on the road and maybe have better things to do. But here you are with us anyway. So as I mentioned in the intro, actually, one other thing. As I mentioned in the intro, these are all very young people on the show. So anyone in the live chat, please keep that in mind. Man, I have also given out some wrenches, so there's some moderators in the chat these days. So just in case, think about that. But I was also going to say, all three of you have qualified for the CrossFit Games for the teen competition. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. No one wants to talk. No one wants to talk. Feel free to jump in, guys. Okay, let's start with we'll go. I feel that's bad to always say youngest first, but Isla, how do you feel about qualifying for the CrossFit Games? And the reason I ask you first is because there's something interesting about both Hannah and Pierce and the way they've qualified. How do you feel about going in at this kind of very young age and making it to the kind of peak of what you can achieve in CrossFit at your age?
Well, it's been like a dream of mine for like a really long time, like since I want to say 2019. Yeah. So I'm really excited about getting a chance to go.
Is that when did you like first get into CrossFit then? Was it sort of 2019, that kind of time?
Yeah, like 2018, 2019. I did like the kids classes in my box and then it eventually moved up.
Because I feel like that was similar for you, right, Hannah? I remember you sort of saying it was around kind of COVID time that you...
Yeah, a little bit later for me. It was like end of 2020, start of 2021.
Right, okay. We should ask Pierce, just because we're there. When did you start doing CrossFit?
Well, about 4 years ago, so about 2020 again, yeah. In lockdown, and after lockdown, I joined my CrossFit gym.
Yeah, I mean, as a masters athlete, it is incredibly frustrating to hear how good you all got in such a short period of time. But I'll push down my own feelings and we'll move ahead, because I know, like, for Hannah and Pierce, you are both in the last sort of year of the teen division, right? So I mean, how's it feel for you guys? Like, obviously this was kind of the last chance to get to the games through this route. So I mean, how's that feeling?
Yes, it's great. One last chance to fight, I suppose, and just like get my name out there. Yeah, it's gonna be a massive jump from teen to adults, so probably won't be winning as many competitions, but you know.
Oh, don't say that. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you, Hannah, you've done a few like, I don't want to say adult competitions. That sounds so
like RX individual.
RX individual. There we go. Yeah, let's put.
Yeah, I've done a couple. Definitely a step up. So yeah, it's good. Always like I've had it in mind the whole of the last year, that kind of last chance, make it happen. Because like Isla was saying about her, it's kind of been a bit of a dream for a while. Kind of since I started, really, it's been like I want to make the games as a teen. So one last chance to make it happen.
So here's a question for you guys: is obviously there's been changes this season, and it's now hosted by Pitt. So you've kind of got the whole, you know, it's a bigger competition for the teens, but also it's its own thing, and it's not obviously at the games, and you know, it's not like you're going to walk around the corner and you just bump into Tia or Justin or someone like that. But the fact that it's going to be a greater concentration of kind of your peers, I mean, how do you feel about this change to the games format? Anyone can jump in on this.
I think there's positives and negatives.
All right, let's start with the positives. Let's be positive. What's the positives about the change?
I think sometimes the teens get forgotten about when they're put in a competition with all the adults. So it's good that they kind of get their own stage this year. Obviously a little bit more focused because it's not the normal games weekend. So we might get some more media coverage. Brands might be a bit more interested. But obviously part of the appeal of going to the games is that it's the games, not the Pitt Teen Throwdown.
Yeah. Although I went on Pitt's like Instagram today, and it does say, you know, hosting the CrossFit Games teen competition at Pitt. So it feels like the branding is still leaning towards that. But I understand what you mean. It is it's different, but it's, you know, but it's positive at the same time. But it's an interesting point you were saying, because Pierce was saying like it's a chance to get his name out there. But maybe actually it is a chance to get your name out there now. Whereas before it was sort of, oh, and you know, it was like, here's Justin, here's Tia, here's Adler, here's Krennikov, and there were some teens in the corner over there, sort of thing. So actually being able to have that weekend, I was gonna say to yourself, you got to share it with the masters, but you know, you're the future of the sport. And the masters are the I don't know, in the sport, but not the future. They're just the future of the next age group, I guess, for them. I'm also curious about the fact that it's obviously a different weekend. Kind of now looking at the elite individuals, that's it. They're all in, like they're fully prepping now, right? It's fast approaching. They've gone through semis. Now it's time to get games ready. What's your training look like, sort of between now and Pitt?
For me, there's going to be like a lot of because it's like the Pitt Teen Throwdowns, there's going to be quite a lot of like unusual, well, kind of movements, like well, swimming and like maybe a bit of like mountain biking or like paddleboarding. Like if you look at the workouts from like the previous years, because it's on like is it the ranch in, so there's like running loops and all sorts.
Yeah, so it's sort of that kind of, I mean, and that's what makes it different, is that's what always makes like the games different from semifinals, from, you know, the regionals or the sanctionals. It's all the sort of odd elements and just getting outside. Swimming, Hannah will be happy about that. She loves swimming. Pierce, what about you?
I don't mind swimming, to be fair.
Yeah.
I used to swim loads as a kid, so the actual swimming part is great, but then like if you add any movements to it, it's a whole nother ball game. Like it's so much harder because you just can't breathe.
Yeah.
You just have to keep your head out of the water.
So would you rather see like I don't know, I'm trying to think of events in the past. Would you rather just have like a big swim as kind of the main thing, and then, you know, maybe it's got a run and something else?
Yeah. Like
as opposed to like rounds of in and out of the water, but you're doing, I don't know, something with a dumbbell or a barbell or a sandbag, which also then gets all wet. And like, I guess that's what, like, Isla, you're talking about kind of training for these different things, and it's sort of that, right? It's like usually if you're using a barbell or a dumbbell or a sandbag, it's like in the gym in a kind of controlled environment. It's not wet because you've come out of a pool or from a lake or river or whatever, and now the equipment is wet and you're having struggle to kind of grab it and pull it around. So I guess that sort of stuff that you're not really used to, unless, I don't know, maybe at some of the comps you've been to, they've been doing
Sid UK champs last year.
Yeah, that was tough workout, to be fair.
Yeah, that was dumbbells and swimming loops.
Yeah.
That was
nasty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, to be fair.
I wouldn't mind just like a run or something and then a swim. That would be quality.
Yeah, just a run and a swim.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
Combo.
Maybe a run again.
Oh, run again. Run, swim, run.
Yeah.
It's been done before. It could happen again. Okay. What I guess, obviously, this is such a massive thing, right? But at the same time, you know, your teens, you've got other stuff going on in life. You've got, you know, education, you've got friends, you've got entertainment. Like, how are you balancing? Oh, obviously, this is such a big opportunity, and we want to go in fully prepared with, I also want to enjoy life, and I don't want to get burn out. You know, we see a lot of burnout. That's something that's been really highlighted in the last couple of years, with particularly the younger athletes that have kind of made it to the next level. How are you like balancing just life in general and then CrossFit and being competitive and trying to do all of that?
But to be fair, I've balanced it. I wouldn't say the best, but this past year, I would say it's been pretty good. Like the past few years haven't been great, just from like skipping gym and doing other things like house parties and all that fun stuff. But yeah, this past year I've definitely knocked it down a bit.
Right.
It's definitely paid off, I think.
Yeah. So your balance is the other way. You're like, you're not one of those that are living in the gym. You're the one that's going, actually, I should skip. I should skip. Now
I am. I spend hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I've got my own key now, so.
You've got your own key.
Yeah, that's literally my house.
That is your house now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Hannah, Isla, do you have a key to your gyms?
I do now. I'm coaching because I lock up sometimes.
Yeah. If they've given Isla a key, I'm going to be surprised. Do you have a key to the gym?
I think, my dad does. I think, yeah. So I kind of want to.
Oh, wow. I think I'm going to have to go and ask Ollie if I can have a key to the gym, to be honest. That's not fair. Everyone else seems to have keys to the gym.
When it's empty gym, you can put your playlist on. So
my playlist, famously, people on this show will know, is Silence, or a podcast. And I went to the gym the other day, and they were doing. I actually did open gym, which is very, like, extremely rare for me. But I've missed loads of classes recently, and I could finally get in. And the workout was a 5K run. And I live like next to the gym, and the 5K route that they do is the one that I'll quite often just do at the weekend anyway. So I was like, I'm not wasting one of the rare opportunities I have to actually be in the gym to go and run my normal 5K route. So I did open gym. When we started, it was great because obviously they weren't playing any music because everybody was outside running. So I was like, oh. And then some of the other open gymmers convinced the coach to put on some music. So I was like, okay, I've lost my my Zen moment, but that's fine. What is your playlist, Hannah?
People don't like it when I put my playlist on. They say it's too sad and depressing. It's not. It's great.
Yeah. Any songs on there that we might know and judge you for?
Probably not. It's just a load of random stuff that I hear it. I like it. I put it on the playlist.
Okay, but we're going for a sad and depressing vibe. Isla, have you got a playlist that you like to put on when your dad opens a gym up for you?
I do, yeah. It's quite a lot of like 90s like pop, I guess. I don't know. Whatever gets me in the mood to do the workout, I guess.
Okay. 90s
Depends what the workout is. If it's running, it'll probably be like Hannah, like something depressing that I don't want to run, do I? So but if it's something like fun, then I don't know. Anything upbeat.
Kenneth has just said the silence speaks volumes. Kenneth, that makes me feel happy. And we've got Terry in the chat. She must know you, Isla.
Yeah.
Pierce, I got to ask you because I've asked everyone else. What's your playlist?
To be fair, it's a bit all over the place. Recently, I've been getting into a bit like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
All them sort of songs. Eminem.
Right,
like great.
Like old Eminem stuff or his new stuff?
Oh, old. Then yeah, like the new one, Houdini. I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of that. I see.
I don't know.
Despite the fact that everybody's using it on their reels these days.
Yeah.
It's just sort of okay. Interesting.
I'll probably still use it, but
for the algorithm. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you didn't even know your handle earlier when I asked you. So, I don't know how well you are mastering the algorithm of Instagram.
Not great.
So you three all know each other, right? Like, this isn't the first time you've all met.
Nope.
And I know you. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I
was
gotta.
gonna say that we met in Southampton with the British teen champs, I think.
Yeah.
And then later in the Arnold.
Oh, again at the Arnolds. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that you're all working with the academy program as well. So I wasn't sure if that's how you knew each other, but then I had seen a picture of you all at the British Teen Champs. Will you be going back again this year, or is that not going to happen because of the games?
It's the weekend after the games, I think.
Is it the weekend after?
It's a little bit close, yeah.
Yeah, but you could
I'm
use that
still
as
doing it, I think.
Are you still doing
Yeah. 3 years in a row, hopefully.
Yeah, I saw you there 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was the first time I did it.
Yeah, there you go. And then I wasn't there last year, and I mean,
There's
it depends.
no good pictures last year.
There was no good.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there to make you like a star.
Exactly.
Pierce is all about getting his name out there, guys. I hope people have realised this, that he is all about, can I get my name out there? This is his last year as a teen. He is gonna do every competition imaginable. So, obviously it also falls into that thing, doesn't it, where it's your age at the competition. Because I know, like, Isla, you're not even 14 yet, and you're in the, but you will be at the time of the games.
I sort of like just made the cut, so
Really?
because like the cut-off date is the day before my birthday, so I think I'll be the youngest on the floor.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like this year I'm just gonna go for like the experience and like just have a good time, and maybe next year like proper give it like, well, I'm gonna of course give it like all I've got, but next year like hope for like a bigger result.
Yeah, nice. Because I guess that is sort of, I mean, it's funny to say, like, that's the luxury of being in that first, you like on the bottom rung basically of the age group, right? So you've got time to be able to go back and be like, all right, I've done a year where I was just kind of getting my feet and getting the experience, and now I can go back and be more serious.
Yeah.
Whereas Hannah and Pierce don't have that. They've got to go all in on this event. This is their one shot. There is a question just popped in that I will just throw up because it's quite an interesting one here. Any advice on what aspects of training a semi-serious teen athlete should concentrate on, i.e. strength, gymnastics, barbell, cardio, etc.? Semi-serious. I don't know.
Gymnastics for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, because there's going to be a gymnastics in most events, and then obviously cardio and barbell is pretty important too. But
yeah, what do you guys think?
I think it depends on what your weaknesses are. I think you need to find your weakness and then nail that down first.
Yeah, I mean, because I have my answer to the question, but I'm in no position to speak. But I will in a minute. Isla, what would you recommend someone starts focusing on? I guess you've got to do all of it though, but maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing about CrossFit is you have to you can't just stick to one thing. You have to sort of even it out. But personally, for me, I'd go gymnastics because this semis and the quarterfinals, there was loads of gymnastics. And yeah, it's the majority of the workouts for me.
Yeah, because I'm intrigued by strength being up there. Because I would think that, Pierce was saying about the jump from the teen to the individual RX, and particularly for the men, the strength element is a real issue, right? Because those guys can lift some heavy weights, and now the teen athletes as well can lift some crazy weight, but the elite individuals are lifting even more insane amounts of weight, and that's sort of been the thing with the where we saw that a lot of the girls could make that jump to the next level because they were already kind of lifting sometimes even heavier weights than the girls, but it was quite close if it was less. Whereas for the guys, it's tended to be the strength was a limiter. But I guess it depends if that's more if you're trying to make that jump, right? Compared to just building up in the first place.
I think you've got to have a baseline strength to be competitive with the rest of it. There's no point having good cardio and gymnastics if you haven't got the strength to keep up with the rest of the field.
Yeah. What takes the most time, do you think? I guess it depends on the person, but generally speaking, what
Strength.
did you? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
strength, right?
yeah.
I would have thought. So I'd say get the strength in immediately, and then do all the other stuff on top of that. But yeah, gymnastics is going to be everywhere, isn't it? Interesting. Okay. Hopefully, we've helped answer that question. I don't know. Well, I mean, you had a background in swimming, Hannah. Either did you have a background in like any sport? Because I mean, it's funny because usually that's a
No.
question you ask someone when they're like come into CrossFit in their 20s, and you're like, well, what were you doing before then? But you're obviously already, you started CrossFit. When did you say 2019?
Yeah, I was quite young, so I didn't really I was always quite like sporty, like did a bit of like running and stuff like that. But I never actually like stuck with a sport. I was
Right.
more into like music and singing and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Preparing those depressing playlists for Hannah for
yeah,
later. Okay,
of course.
interesting. We've got some more people in here. Who's Jessica? Jessica Hill. I'm guessing that's a relative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake Chapman. Jake, I hope you've noticed you've got a wrench now, mate. You're putting you in charge of the chat today. Very good. So I have a question about the academy program, because I know that you were working with them, but I don't really know what you're doing. So I thought, as I've got all three of you here, and I mean, it's a crazy coincidence that all three of you have made it to the games and you're all working with them. So I just wondered if there's some, some corresponding reason there that it's helped you. But what are you doing? I know none of you want to jump in on this one, but well, first of all, what is the academy program? Because Hannah mentioned it when she came on with John Young, and we briefly touched on it, and we were like, oh, we'll get someone on to talk about that, and that hasn't happened. So you guys are here now, so you can talk to me about it. What are you doing for the academy program?
So the academy program is basically trying to get CrossFit into schools, kind of making it more accessible to kids in that through non-profit school affiliates. As youth ambassadors, we're kind of doing bits to help the academy behind the scenes. We're also sort of like acting as representatives for them a little bit, so like on their social media and stuff. But I think the aim eventually is that we're getting a school in our local area and kind of targeting them so they start working with the academy program to become a non-profit affiliate.
Okay. So do you think going to that, like, obviously, I mean, we've joked about Pierce getting his name out there at, because he goes to the games, but the fact that all three of you are going to be there, like, that's going to obviously elevate your profile. So is that going to help then if you're kind of ambassadors for this? Do you think like the more attention you can get on, look, this is what you can achieve doing CrossFit as a teen, is that going to help, do you reckon, to kind of make schools and things take note of like, oh, actually, this is, it's quite a big thing? Or is this just kind of a happy perk on the side?
I think hopefully it's going to get the academy more out there, but I think they're not necessarily focusing on getting teens into CrossFit to compete, but getting teens into CrossFit as like just a way of keeping fit in the community and that kind of thing, as opposed to competing. If you compete, great, like that's an avenue that you could take, but that's not why they're trying to push CrossFit out there to people.
Right. So I mean, that's the same like constant battle though that just CrossFit in general has, right? Like CrossFit for Health and the games, and the fact that the games is this, huge spotlight on it because it's exciting and people watch it, but it's that kind of balance of, is it bringing people in or is it scaring people away? But you want to see it. I wish they'd had like CrossFit when I was a kid, because I didn't stick with any sport because I really didn't care, but I think I would have still done CrossFit. But anyway, have you got CrossFit classes in any of your schools yet?
Not yet.
I've got to attend one in Exeter tomorrow.
Oh, have you?
We're going to, like, the school is coming to a CrossFit gym.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I've got to take them through, like, the teachers through like a class, and then I think it's just like a whole like fun day for like the students and stuff to get like used to it all and see if they like CrossFit. So
are you coaching that, or you're like
I'm just coaching like a little workout, I believe.
Okay. Oh, fun. This guy, he's very busy. Oh, here we are. Oh, Connor Kemp is in the chat. Oh, I should have got him on. Pierce is repping a South Affiliate gathering tomorrow. Yeah, we know. He's just told us.
That's what I meant.
Will Connor be there as well? No.
No, he lives.
Yeah, he's way too far away. So here's a question for you then. So obviously, if you haven't yet got CrossFit into the schools, that's fine. You like the three of you are obviously very dedicated. You clearly train a lot because otherwise you couldn't do what you're doing. At school in general, like your classmates or the friends you've got there, like what do they think about what you're doing? Do they know? Is it a secret? Oh, imagine if it's a secret.
None of them really. You can never really explain what CrossFit is by just telling them they have to watch it.
Yeah.
So I just tell them to watch some of the documentaries, and then they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them actually get the whole aspect of it or how hard it is and stuff like that.
So you just
Everyone
show
just
them
doesn't like the pull-ups.
Oh, so how do they feel about stuff like that?
They just think it's dumb.
It's dumb.
And then you just look like a fool.
Yeah. I mean, it is the one thing. If we'd never introduced butterfly pull-ups, I think we'd have solved a lot of problems, because it's just a classic kind of, you can't do it. And then you can go to any of like the Instagram of any kind of athlete that's doing a load of butterfly pull-ups, just scroll down a bit and you'll find them doing like weighted pull-ups or something like that, and be like, look, they can definitely do real pull-ups. But yeah, very frustrating. Ladies, either of you, kind of like, what's your so Pierce basically tells them, go watch a documentary. By the way, when I compete, I go under the name of Matt Fraser. You can watch this, and that's me. What do you two do? Like, do people know what you're doing? Are they interested in CrossFit, or they think it's a bit weird? I'm just kind of curious.
For me, my friends are quite into sports. So I've got one that does swimming, one that does athletics. I have mentioned the CrossFit, but I don't think that they like really know like what's going on. But I think they get the gist of it. But yeah, I actually have had a conversation with one of my friends about the butterfly pull-ups, and how
really?
she was like, "But can you like do real pull-ups?" And I was like, "I can, yeah."
But these are faster.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we.
I mean, no one really gets it. You say I do CrossFit, people are like, "What's CrossFit?" It's like, well, do I really want to explain it to you? Might not bother. Yeah, you get a lot of stick for the pull-ups.
Really?
Yeah. From like, because people, like all the lads of my age, they're like gym bros, you know. So they reckon they know all about the gym, and then butterfly pull-ups, no.
But how many strict pull-ups can they do, do you reckon? Do you reckon can they do a lot? Huh? Not as many as you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever just been like, right, come on, there's, I don't know, there's some monkey bars in that park over there. Let's go and do some pull-ups.
I actually would.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Film it, and then we'll share it around. But it'd be good. So that's interesting. So they know nobody knows what CrossFit is, but they all hate butterfly pull-ups. So that's fascinating. So I didn't know that. But because I know that for like in my life, people but we're always kind of also in that CrossFit bubble where you go to the box and everyone there knows what CrossFit is, and then you talk to people that watch this show and they all know what CrossFit is. So I'm like, yeah, everybody. And then I go to speak to people I knew before I started doing CrossFit, or that live in other parts of the world that I'm friends with, and I'm like, oh, you've got no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, I think I was talking to someone about FitFest when I went up there and was trying to explain like, oh yeah, and they'd invited these these top games athletes there, and it was really incredible to see what they're doing. And their immediate thing was like, oh, was it like the weight they were they must be lifting an incredibly heavy weight? And you're like, well, no, they're lifting heavy weight. It's not so much that they're lifting like a one really heavy weight. It's kind of how many reps they're doing of this other. Yeah, it's really hard if people don't. So I think Pierce is right. Just put a documentary on loop and let them watch that. Do you have any particular kind of CrossFit media that you enjoy?
Good question. What, just like actual like films, or just like Instagram accounts, or
anything? I mean, I guess just what do you, when you decide to like dip into kind of consume some CrossFit, is it mostly Instagram? Is it YouTube? Is it the documentaries, the behind the scenes, old games events? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the documentaries 100 times each, over
Really?
and over again. Yeah, I literally love them. But they're also like podcasts like this would be quality to watch, and then like the Buttery Bros, you can't beat them.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll accept all the documentaries. That was good. Like that. Isla, what about you? Do you even consume, or are you just saying I do it myself?
Well, one of my coaches recommended me to watch like the Road to the Games, which is like the like before the competition, like from a while ago, like the professional athletes. So I did watch quite a bit of that, but I'm not gonna lie, I do just prefer doing it because watching it makes me want to go and do it. So like if I'm having a rest day, then and I'm watching CrossFit, then I'm just like, oh, now I want to go out and do something.
Oh, so it's almost dangerous for you to watch this. It's ruining your rest days. Okay. And Hannah probably just watches like the program Crown documentary because she's like, oh,
just over and over again on repeat.
Yeah.
I don't even feature in it that much because I'm not very great with a camera.
Right. Okay.
So all the bits they filmed of me, they seem to cut out. It's fine. Not even bothered.
We'll ask for like the blooper reel, and maybe you'll pop up on that a bit more. So what do you watch then if you're not featured in that much?
Quite a lot of CrossFit on my Instagram, YouTube. I like the odd CrossFit podcast. Like when I do my Zone 2 like active recovery stuff, I watch like old games events. So I've been through all of them pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, is that something that you're like watching? I guess, do you watch it with a different eye now? Like in the past, I suppose, if you're watching like old games events, you're watching that kind of as this is entertaining. It's interesting to see what they can do. You know, that was a fun event. Oh, look how close that race was. Do you watch stuff now with I mean, imagine if something like this shows up, or how would I take on that workout? Or, you know, could they maybe they'll do a modified version of this, you know, at Pitt. Like, have you changed? Are you watching it with a kind of more analytical eye now, or is it still it's just fun to watch and it's entertaining?
Yeah, I think like the first time you watch stuff, it's like I'm watching it as a spectator, and then you're watching it and you're like, oh, like who's picked the best strategy? Like what kind of strategy would I do if I was going to take on that workout? And like, do I think that would be a workout that would play to my strengths or not, and stuff.
Okay, here's a question for you. I've just thought of it. I think it's a good question. Who are like your favorite games athletes? And then I'm also interested to know if they have similar strengths and weaknesses to you or very different strengths and weaknesses to you.
Okay.
I'm going to start with you, Hannah, because you've sprung this on me with this question.
I don't know. I can't. There's nobody like in particular that's like my absolute favorite games athlete. But I think any athletes with like similar strengths and weaknesses to me, I think because you can relate to them a bit more. Like, because I'm not great with a heavy barbell. If you ever see like at the games in like a strength event, someone who's not doing great, I feel like I really resonate with them.
Oh, right.
So, like,
well, yeah, because
I feel you. You know.
Because I wondered if it's that, if you're like, oh yeah, I know what that's like, or if it's, oh man, I wish I could, move a barbell like that.
I mean, it's a bit of both. Because like obviously you look at all the really strong girls and you're like, I want to be like that. I want to be like you.
You got time. You could be like that.
I have got time. We're getting there slowly, very slowly.
I'm going to ask Pierce because he's watched all the behind the scenes and all the stuff. Yeah, who are you kind of cheering on these days?
I've got a few favourites, to be fair. I've not really stuck to one. Like BKG, he's up there.
Yeah.
Brent Fikowski, he's a tall stature, so I can relate to him a little bit. And then Pat Vellner.
Yeah. Oh, very Canadian heavy. You're and Iceland. But yeah, BKG, incredible. Qualified for 11th time. I mean, that's consistency for you. And then 2 Canadians. Not Vellner, Brent, because he's tall. So
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, someone you can kind of link to, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of tall guys coming through this year, so you might have some new favorites by the end.
I mean, Jonah Hoster, he's quality, to be fair.
Yeah, he'll be on tomorrow, so lucky, see this. I'm prepping my tall questions for you, so that I'll be ready for Yelle. That's the point. Isla, any athletes that you kind of look up to?
Like one that like springs to mind would be like Ariel Lowen, I think, because she seems like I don't know, she just seems like a really nice lady, not gonna lie. I like her attitude and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she's also like extremely kind of balanced with how she approaches her training, and that is, she was saying like she does, you know, she does the amount of time she does, she increases the intensity, but she doesn't really put much more time into it because she's like, well, that's the amount of time I've got, and that's how much I can train for it. And even, you know, I've had her on here and we had a chat about that, but then I was watching, I had just had a sneak peek at the behind the scenes from not Syndicate Crown, the other one, West Coast, that she was at that, and she was like saying she hadn't tested they've only done the Thursday so far, so that run and the clean and jerks, and like she hadn't tested it because when would she? She's like, when would I? So she just went and did that. So yeah, very nice. Okay, right, interesting. I have another question for you, which might be, I don't want to say not too, it's like not like personal, but obviously very exciting that you're going to Pitt. That's great. But that's quite expensive. So how are you kind of balancing the, you know, oh wow, that's really what a wonderful opportunity, how exciting, with how much is this going to cost me? And also, if I'm not wrong, there's no prize money at Pitt as well, right? So the teams don't get,
Nope.
you're not allowed to win money. So
Teams
it's
get
kind
nothing.
of, you get our respect and admiration. What do you want? What do you want more than that? So is that like a, you know, obviously you've got your families and friends maybe back you. I don't know. I don't know your financial situations. I don't want to get into that. But is that something that you're quite kind of like, okay, this is a really serious thing and it's also going to cost money, and that's, you know, I've got to take it seriously if we're going to invest. You know, it's a big investment, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. How has that sort of affected your just approach over the next couple of weeks and months, and just your approach to everything? Unless you all tell me you're rich, in which case I'll be like, oh, I get it then. Sponsor my show. Hannah?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, obviously, it was a big thing with going to the games is that it was going to be really expensive. But because it's something I've been working towards for the past, like, 3 years, we've kind of had it in the back of our minds that it's potentially something we were going to have to, like, if I qualified, we said we'd do our best to make it happen. So, yeah. So we knew it was coming, potentially. Obviously, after the Open, I was like, right, this is kind of a realistic possibility for this year. So we've set up a GoFundMe. One of the coaches at the gym, she set it up. So hopefully trying to cover like flights for me and my coach if we can, maybe a little bit of the accommodation. And we're doing T-shirts as well. So just in the gym, the owner of the gym designed the T-shirt, put it in the members group. Anyone want to support his T-shirt, and any of the profits are going to kind of go into the little GoFundMe pot,
Nice.
just to try and help if we can.
Yeah, I was kind of fishing for that. Is it like, are you guys kind of crowdfunding a little bit to help? Because I mean, even the individual RX athletes that are going to the games are generally selling T-shirts or doing stuff to try and raise some money. Isla, Pierce, you guys got shirts available or some other kind of system in place that you're doing to generate some funds so people can support you if they like?
I think we're doing shirts as well. My mum has been on board with it like since day one. She like booked the accommodation. Like I think it was towards the end of the quarterfinals, just in case. So yeah, but I was really like surprised with like how many people that were like wanting to come down to support me, because obviously like it's a big like commitment. It's a lot of money, but I was just like, I was really surprised by that. I'm really grateful as well.
Yeah, that's nice. I can see Pierce leaning forward to unmute.
Yes, obviously I only got the invite on Thursday morning,
right,
as a backfill spot, so I haven't had the chance to like put a T-shirt out or anything like that, or set up a GoFundMe, but we're working on that.
Is that all coming? That's coming down the line.
Coming. So if you want to buy a T-shirt, they will be there soon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, send me the links, guys, and I'll share them with people so they can think about you. We have another interesting question. Let's pull this up a second. If you had to choose an Olympic sport to compete in before CrossFit becomes part of the games, I'm not holding out hope that CrossFit is becoming part of the Olympics. But anyway, what event would you choose and why? What Olympic event would you choose? Hannah, you go back to swimming?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go swimming or something like something low skill. I can't like I don't know. Like it'd have to be like running or swimming or something, I think.
Okay.
Some kind of long distancey thing, maybe.
Yeah. Let's not tell these Olympic athletes that are swimming that it's low skill. I think they
Yeah,
might.
no, you know what I mean? Like I think it'd
okay.
be difficult though going back to training for like a really like one-dimensional sport because obviously CrossFit's got so many different aspects to it. I think going back to swimming lengths up and down, looking at the black line in the bottom of the pool would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, you never know. What about you, Pierce?
I'm not too sure because I used to do like, a lot of sport before CrossFit, but I never really took off in any of them. I did swimming as well, but I like competitions and galas and all that sort of stuff. But it's all just like the same thing over and over again. So it was just got so boring. And then I found CrossFit, and it took me away. But I'd probably do Olympic weightlifting, probably.
Yeah. I mean, that's feels like an easy shout, doesn't it? You could follow in the footsteps of one of your CrossFit heroes, BKG. He was a skateboarder before he was doing CrossFit. So they had skateboarding at the Olympics recently. So
no chance.
Yeah, no. Okay.
I don't even think I can stand on one.
Yeah, you're not even sure which side to stand on. And finally, Isla, what Olympic sport would you do?
Well, first, that's my uncle's commented that, so hello. But I'd probably.
Does he know that? Are you? Hold on. This is where we find out she probably is like really good at some Olympic sport. She's like a pole vault or something. What can you do?
I was going to choose the easy route of Olympic weightlifting, but my uncle does running, so he's probably gonna hope I was going to say something about running. So.
Yeah, if only there was a sport that combined running and Olympic lifting, that would be really good, wouldn't it? Maybe you'd be good at that. Well, it's interesting though, from all of your answers, it's like, and going back to kind of like the academy thing you're doing and trying to get into schools and all of that, it's like you all sort of said, oh, just training for one thing was kind of boring, or I did a lot of sports, but I didn't stick with them. Pierce's camera's disappeared. He didn't say that, but I've noticed that. And I think when I was at school, it was like a similar thing. Like I just didn't, like nothing really clicked like those individual sports. So I really wish there had been like CrossFit and you could do, a bit of weightlifting, a bit of gymnastics, a bit of running, a bit of, we had a pool at school. Maybe we could have even done swimming as well, like incorporated it into a workout. So I think that's really good that you're helping to try and get that out there, also for the health side of things, because obviously that's what's most important. And they tried to fix school dinners years ago because that was important for health, but you've also got to do the exercise thing as well. We have lost Pierce, but that wasn't a surprise because he was on a phone in, I don't know, a stop somewhere on the road. So that's fine. What have you got planned now then between sort of now and the games beyond training? Is it just all focused on that, or are you watching the semi-finals and the games and stuff like that? Were you watching all of that kind of as inspiration, or are you too focused on your own stuff?
Yeah, I was watching all the semis, and I'll definitely try and watch the games as well. I think because maybe I don't know if any of the programming is going to be linked from the individual games to ours. Probably not. I think Pitt are programming it separately, but who knows? But I'm also competing in a couple of weeks in Madrid at the Crowns. They invited a load of athletes to their like Madrid series, so I'm competing at that.
Nice.
As well.
Okay, so
that's my last comp before the games.
That's your last comp before. Pierce, we know, is competing immediately after because this guy can't stop. Have you got any comps before the games, Pierce? Yes, look at him nodding. Oh, what's he gonna do? He's killing himself.
No, not quite. I got strength and depth.
Are UK champs?
Yeah. So 6th and 7th, I think.
Yeah.
Next month.
I'll be there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, not competing, just not competing. I'll be there on the media. Yeah.
I was going to do the crown, and then I saw it was like from 17 to 21. I was like, oh, and then I saw a few good names in there. I was like, don't know if I fancy doing that one just yet.
just yet. Ah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess there is like, because we were saying that it's like you were last year in the teen division, at least in the brackets that CrossFit has set up. But there are comps that are still kind of realizing that there is, the jump between being 17 and going up against, 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, those that have been doing it for a long time. That's still quite a massive jump. So because even British teens, do they still have that?
Yeah, British teens go 18 to 21
Yeah.
as like an extra division.
Yeah. So I don't know, Pierce. I think you've still got. I see that you've still kind of got your eye on a few of these things. I let any
What a
comps.
loser is to 18, isn't it, as well?
Oh, all right. So is that something you'll be looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Another American trip.
Yeah. Well, start saving now. Start selling the t-shirts now, and then maybe you'll be able to afford it. Isla, any comps between now and the games?
Yeah, I've got one next weekend at Rotherham. It's a triplet, and one of the girls in the team is also qualified to go to the games, so that'll be nice to.
Oh, who's that?
Ava Rose now.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to get her on because I feel guilty that she hasn't come on this time. Wow. So that's. I mean, you guys are all very active all the time. This is. That's the beauty of being a teen athlete, that your recovery is so much better than the masters athletes. Okay, interesting. So obviously, we've said that people at school have no idea what you're doing, but surely they know you. Do they know you're going to America? Like
some people do.
Yeah.
Some people, not loads.
No. Do you think? What do you think it would take to like come back and like if you won and you came back, do you think they would even acknowledge that, or would that just be oh yeah, okay, like because we'd know what an accomplishment that is, but do you think they'd have any clue, or it would still, would that not be enough to kind of convince them what you're doing is impressive? Would they still just be talking about butterfly pull-ups?
Probably.
I have to, like, if they say, "Oh, just go and win it," then I have to explain, like, if I win it, I'm the best on earth at this age group.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, "Oh."
Yeah. They just think it's just another competition. Yeah. Okay. But go and win it, Pierce. What are you doing? Don't. This is your last year. Go and win it, please. For me, it would be really convenient if all three of you could win. And the nice thing is that you're all in different, obviously you guys are in the same age group, but in the male and female division, and then Isla, you're in the lower one. So theoretically, there is nothing stopping you, all three of you, winning it, which would be a great, we could advertise this as the show that kind of puts people over the edge and gives them that bump to win, and then that would be great for me. Obviously there are some other quite fit teens that are going there as well, so they might have something to say about this, but are they as fit as you? I guess that's the real question, isn't it? Pierce is shaking his head. He says no, they're not. So he's called his shot right now. Are there actually? That's interesting. You said there are names, like when you looked at other, like at the Crown, there are names that you recognize. Are there names within your divisions that you're like, you've kind of got your eye on, of somebody that you're like, I know this person's quite good. I want to, if I could be hanging near them in a workout, I'll be quite happy. That means I'm pacing it well. Like, have you kind of got an eye on your competition already, or you are just in your own lane going and doing your own races?
It's probably just number one. That's the goal. It's always the goal. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously looks unrealistic. So I qualified in last place, but like it's just working on gymnastics. Hopefully that will bump me up. And obviously the CrossFit Games is known for a more brutal, grueling workout. So field is going to be good, I reckon.
Yeah. Do you think that plays into your strengths then? It being kind of more, more events, a bit more endurance over the course of the competition needed.
Yeah, for sure.
That works in your favor.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because that's just what I like. Just grunt work, just seeing what people have got. Like, can you do it again and again and then again? Stuff like that.
Okay, interesting. Oh, I think I'm becoming a Pierce fan, and I don't really like that, but I just this guy's something about him, right? Just I'll be cheering him on. So, guessing Hannah knows who this person is. Sonia said, I think it would need to be televised before general people would understand what it is about. Yeah. Do we know yet if, I mean, are they going to stream Pit? Have you heard anything about that? I don't know if they've announced anything yet.
I don't think they've said anything, but hopefully.
They never say anything, but they didn't say, they didn't tell us that like semi-finals were being streamed until a kind of week or two before it was happening. So it would be nice. It would be good. With it being like televised, that's interesting, isn't it? Because like they're going to have some of the game stuff on ESPN again, and they kind of always make a big deal of that. But like even here, we don't get that. So it's kind of YouTube or nothing. I think it'd be cool if they could like after package it up and put it on Netflix or something like that. I mean, would that like finally penetrate the school? Would they understand?
Yeah,
like, oh, it's on Netflix.
That would be quality, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think that it's his own event, and it's the teenage CrossFit Games. I reckon they'll definitely focus on it a bit more.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Pit team isn't a massive competition, so they're going to want to grow as just a competition themselves anyway and build their name. So, and that's how they're going to do it, by videoing it all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because even if they couldn't live stream everything, if they just have the footage, they could package that up later and put it out as, like Strongman, the whole competition's done and finished, and they already know who the person is, like who the winner is, like World's Strongest Man, I should say. And then they kind of package it together and put it out as like a show after the fact. So, I mean, even that would be, with regards to like getting the sport out there, getting your name out there, that would be cool. And then, yeah, on Amazon or on Facebook or something, on Facebook, what am I talking? On Netflix, on Amazon or Netflix or something like that. And then you could go and watch it. I thought that a lot after watching like the behind the scenes documentaries. I was thinking, how good would it have been if you could have had like that little bit of behind the scenes before Thursday, and then it cuts to the full event and you watch the full event, and then it kind of cuts to a bit of behind the scenes after the event and then before the next event. So like it would be interesting to watch. Obviously the problem is you already know who's winning like all of those events because we've all been checking the leaderboard. But yeah, it'd be nice. You'd be famous, celebrities finally. But you still can't do real pull-ups, so you still get no respect at school. That's the problem. Right, brilliant. Okay, well, it's been an interesting chat. I think it's incredible what you've all pulled off. Like, honestly, and it feels bad to us, but when you've all got your tickets, right? You've all kind of confirmed. Are they all locked in, like confirmed 100%? Are you waiting for anything? Because like semi-finals, we always kind of think we know who everyone is going, and then sometimes stuff happens, and we're like, oh. But have you all confirmed and like your tickets are locked in? You're definitely going to the games, yes?
Yeah, we paid the money, so
paid the money. All right, well, at that point, okay, good.
Hopefully, it's locked in.
So I would like to know, like before, because I mean, was that either you were saying that people had already started booking hotels before you'd finished? So, like, how confident were you that this was the end result? Like going into the Open and quarterfinals this year, like obviously yourself, some of the kind of people you're competing against. Were you pretty confident that this was an achievable goal?
For me, no, not really. So after the Open, I was quite confident, but then after the semi-finals, I was like, oh. So, but for the last two workouts of the semi-finals, I redid them both twice on the same night, which was crazy. But if I hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't have gotten a spot. So thanks to my coach for making me do it. So that was pretty mental.
Yeah, that was so mental. Pierce actually raised his eyebrows when you said that. He was very surprised that you did that. Did you not do the same, Pierce? You didn't redo the two workouts in the final day?
I redid one, the ring muscle up and front squat, and that absolutely killed me off. But I quite enjoyed that the last workout. I was just grunt work again, a little bit of gymnastics, so that was quite a fun one.
All right. You're gonna have to incorporate grunt work into your t-shirt design for the games, by the way. Let's we'll think about that off pod. Hannah, I mean, you've done it feels like you've been doing a lot of comps in the lead up to this anyway. So did you kind of have a good idea where you sat relative to the field in general?
I think I knew I was capable of doing it if everything went to plan. So I knew I had it in me, providing I performed to my best on the weekend and nothing went wrong. Which, I mean, I had a few repeats as well. I redid the lifting workout, the snatch one. Did it the first time, and I think I failed my first snatch at like 34 kilos. I was like, okay. From there, I was like, I think we might need to repeat this one. So I redid that one, and I redid the last one as well.
When you failed and you thought, oh, we might need to repeat this one, did you anyway finish the workout, or did you just stop and go?
No, I kept going all the way. And then we finished. Me and my coach just looked at each other. We're like, I think we might need to redo.
Yeah. Okay. I think I would have stopped and then been like, you know what? I'll come back to this.
10 seconds and went again, and then it was fine.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So we can buy t-shirts to support you if we want to do it that way. We can cheer you on the live stream. We're assuming that we'll be playing there, and we can get your name out there. Anything else that you guys need that you're looking for, like support wise, going into the games, or do you already have an amazing? It sounds like you've all got kind of really good teams around you that are doing everything for you.
I mean, if there's any brands out there that want to chuck a sponsor in, that'll be great.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same. Please.
Yeah, I'll say the same, guys. If you want to come to me first, and if I don't want you, I'll pass you on to Pierce or Hannah or Isla. But I'm sure. Anyway, hopefully. But I mean, it's good. Like even this, people getting to know you a little bit, because I always say that. One day I'm going to get in trouble for it, but it's like at the moment where the level that CrossFit is within sort of as a sport, even the top athletes, they need to balance that. Being like an athlete and kind of an Instagram influencer type thing, right? Because they're not making enough money. Well, few are making enough money just from competing, and that to actually. So a lot of it is, they're having to be sponsored by these companies and be posting up, sharing what they're doing, and I guess that's quite difficult as well for you when you're teens, because what I don't know what, sometimes like even coming on here I'm always like I have to check with everyone's parents that it's all okay, like I got to make sure that you're fine to be on, and then like even when you're uploading videos and stuff, you got to click it on YouTube like, yes, are there anybody under this age on it? Yeah, okay. So it's not always as easy. So I think you've got like a real battle, but it's amazing what you're all accomplishing. What's this? Connor sign up for the legacy comp via the academy and monies go to the kids. Did you know that? Did any of you know that? No.
If you look on the Academy's Instagram, it tells you more about what the competition is.
Yeah. What is it then, quickly? Do you know anything about it? Do you know anything about the Legacy Comp? Oh, dear.
I think it's more of like a beginner. Like if someone's like looking to get into CrossFit, it's a great one to start off with. And then you can obviously get a feel for it all and then build up on how you like to.
Yeah, I think it's pairs. So it's one person over the age of 18 and one person aged 13 to 18, I think it is. So, but it should be like your first comp, you're a beginner, a way of introducing people to compete in.
Yeah. So kind of saying it's a parent and child comp type thing. I'm assuming though, like, or child and guardian, I guess, or friend who introduced you to CrossFit, I suppose. And yeah, an entry level comp. Okay, that's interesting. What's going on? Next gen legacy comp is a mentor and younger athlete pair comp. There we go. That's a nicer way of putting it than parent and child. Very good. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so sign up to that, and apparently you guys will get a cut. So that's so I hope you're out promoting that. But you should start going around the schools.
You will be now.
Yeah, you will do.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you mean now? Oh, Hannah, I was sure you had already been promoting that non-stop before you knew this, and now.
I hadn't been told about it. I saw it on Instagram the other day.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, we should cut all this bit then. Oh, it's a shame that it's live.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, Hannah, all the best at the 16 to 17-year-old division pit teens throwdown CrossFit Games. Pierce, the same division but for the men. Well done. Isla, you've got years ahead of you of doing the games, so enjoy the first of what I assume is a couple more years in the teens, and then you get to throw down with Hannah in the elite individuals a few years later. So that will be exciting. You guys are always welcome back on if you ever want to jump on. If you've got anything going on, if you've got t-shirts to sell, Pierce, just come on the show. I'll give you a link for 5 minutes. You can come on and flog your t-shirts and then go back in the car or whatever it is you got to do.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But on.
Yeah. And yeah, so thank you everyone in the end there were quite a few comments, lots of people watching. It's very nice. Go and support these young teen athletes if they don't infuriate you too much by being really fit at a young age. And as we see our fitness slowly diminishing and they're getting better, it can, it hurts a little bit, but I appreciate all the hard work you're doing and also all the stuff you're doing with the academy program. It sounds like you're kind of not just taking advantage of what CrossFit can give you, but trying your best to give back as well. So I think that's very commendable. Well done, guys. If you are watching this now and you're like, oh, this was interesting, I wonder who he's got on next. Well, as I've already mentioned, I'll be back on Monday with Jelle Hoste and Lucille, who is a talent agent within CrossFit. And then again on Wednesday with Alex Kazan and Justin Kotler. So if you want to head back for that, it would be nice to see you then. Thank you guys. All the best at the games, and see you all, I don't know, hopefully on the next one.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
You're
thanks.
welcome. Also polite.